Well, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Zwift Community Live broadcast of the W2L Zwift Racing League out on the Richmond Cobbled Climbs, 5 laps, 15 climbs. I'm Nathan Garrett, Dave Toll next to me, and today has been a lot of racing of attrition all day long. Dave, you were broadcasting with or commentating alongside of Matt Stevens today, it looked like, and the men's race over on the Premier Division looked absolutely like a Donnybrook. I would say if there's a Donnybrook, this is the Donnybrook course.
Yeah, someone should call it that. It was brutal. It really was. I mean, when you look at it, this will go down as, I'm going to say, the hardest hour of racing that we have. It really is. It's not the amount of climbing, it's the way it comes at you. I mean, it's 15 intervals spiced through a 1 hour period, basically. And each one of them is a trip through hell, to tell you the truth. 23rd Street to me, well, you know what? It really depends on the moment in the race, right? But I mean, Governors is much tougher than one would think. And coming after that 1-2 punch from Libby into 23rd, it's just great racing. It really is. And I've said it before, but a worthy winner will be found every single time.
This is the truth. I mean, on that side of things, the whole idea of a worthy winner. I mean, this course over and over again, we've seen close to the strongest on the day win. There've been a couple of moves where I'm like, ooh, that was right on the edge, and the pack brought it back, or the pack got involved again. We saw it in the men's race in the EMEA that we covered. It definitely ended up being somewhat of a bunch attrition sprint, right? But there were a couple off the front. They seemed to be the strongest. There was like 6 off the front one time, 2 off the front another time. And I really think that those riders, when it came to, and when I say strongest, I mean from a purely you put people into a race of truth on a course like this, and boom, who's going to go, and try and get to the line.
Yeah.
Kind of a situation. So I think, over and over again, I think riders who just really like to suffer and like to show what they got, these are the courses. This course specifically is one that really allows those riders to shine.
Completely agree. I don't know if you saw the finish. Obviously, Nathan, you're doing 6 broadcasts during the day. The Women's Premier League race, a friend of ours through a lot of WTRL events, Alice Lethbridge, had maybe the most impressive finish I've seen this year, where she had our friend Catherine Curie, who's already a 3-time winner in the Premier League. Certainly, I would say the hottest individual in a team-based league, but certainly Catherine Curie's been amazing. She tried to nail back Alice Lethbridge, and Alice, I mean, it was textbook, kept just enough in the tank to hold off Curie, and then Curie ended up getting caught by the front end of that chase group behind them. So, I mean, it doesn't get better than that. And you have to remember, too, this finish, so after you get done with Governors, you make a left-hand turn, the Monument Ave, I believe it's called there, and you then, it seems flat-ish, but it's still 1%, 1.5% grade to the finish line from there. So that is your classic false flat finish. So you can see a lot of riders getting nailed back and past in the last few meters. So yeah, it's tough to get to Governors. It's tough to then withstand those attacks, and then you're always going to be sprinting out of a really small group. I would imagine it'll play out this way for the America's Division 2 women we're jumping in with first. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's going to be 2C only out there today.
2C.
Let's go ahead and actually jump right on in with it here, as America's 2C, it looks like, is on to their first climb onto Libby Hill at this point. And we do have Julie here off the front, absolutely demolishing this climb. She went trying to go for bottom to top kind of a move here. Myers there from Coalition, Copeland's there as well, and Noemi. And as you can see, this train here trying to bring things back. And this is what I was talking about also today. We saw a couple of riders. Now, this is going to be my question here with Julie. Is she going to have this all the way through the entirety of the race, or is this a one and done type of situation? Is this just go for the all out, over the top of the camp, grab those points, and then going to have to pull back and see if you can hang on after that all-in attack? You're going to have other riders who are going to be biding their time, waiting. Third going on through here, Myers, and it's going to be Bond Mills there. Copeland coming through for fourth. It's going to be Jen there from Egowatt now as well, Lorch, and then CZ CCZRSP there is in there with the coalition now with the Canyon team. That's going to be SP, it looks like, with the Canyon Coalition Zwift Racers is most likely what that's standing for. Giving it a name instead. The Merc kit, though, Agawatt using that as of recently. Awesome to see. This is back into 8th place, the top 10. All over the top here. Betty Squad Racing, their awesome kit. And, I think Anna might be a little jealous on the Fashion Police here because this is probably the best kit that we have in game. I would say one of the best kits that are in game. I mean, absolutely awesome. Now we're going to see if Let can get back on terms, though. And this is such a difficult spot because of the snowball effect, the avalanche on the other side of this here, Dave.
Yeah, Amy Alette is the rider that we're looking at right now. I think she can do it. Come on, Amy. It's you're right though. It's do or die time right now. It's like watching a roller coaster ride as the train just picks up speed here. This was critical, and we saw in Premier League how the riders that really understood. And Nathan, your coaching on this throughout the last, for me, the last year it all was exactly correct in the way you need to ride. This is the trickiest sector to ride of the course right here.
Yeah, this is
a big effort from Amy now.
It's all about the roller coaster at this point, really, trying to bring that speed in. And then the only thing I would say is that the real attacks, if you're amongst the pack that's got a ton of speed, I may have made a little bit of mistake. Maybe not a mistake. If I'm alone or if I want to be the aggressor, bottom to top, you can come in with a ton of speed and trying to attack over the top of it. But really, it's like that negative split Anna was saying earlier. I really think that is important on 23rd Street to see Julie take another one. But Jen here, coming on strong. Looks like she reserved a little bit. I believe Jen thought that things were going to come back together on Libby and that Julie may not have been able to get away. But now we have 2 off the front already in this C division. Awesome to see. Myers from Coalition going to have to try and close this down. This may be very early death knell for the rest of the pack, but we do see 4 chasers behind there. Very hard to not allow them to come back in. And Agawatt Coalition, they've got multiple riders here, and that may set up for some good team tactics as we've seen them all day long. The team tactics have been absolutely amazing to watch on this course and the way that people are using this course in order to employ the energy they have at exactly the right times. There's so much gamification, I would say gaming of this race out here that you can pull off.
Smircic, the rider from Agawatt Blaze that we've got on the front, a 4-rider group coming together. Nathan, I know, so the C's and D's are doing a modified distance, correct? As I believe it was 5 laps.
3 laps.
I know it was 5.
Good call there. These gals are doing 3 laps. The men that we'll be watching will be doing 5 laps. So it's kind of nice because we'll be able to catch most of this race. We'll stick with them for most of the race actually, and be over with the men for their key spots early on with the 2 laps. We'll see Libby, we'll see the climbs, we'll see a little bit of breaks, and then we'll come back with the women. It does look like a dropout here, though, with Smircic.
Yeah,
too bad to see here from Agawatt. Hopefully she can get it reconnected. She does have a chase that could help her out. There's Sierra here as well and a couple of others. So she does have teammates coming on that are going to give her a little bit of a boost. And I think if these teammates
could have been worse.
Yeah, this could end up being salvaged, I think, here, Dave.
Yeah, actually, I thought, oh no, all that hard work to make that front group, and obviously a little bit of that steam goes out of the engine, but she looks like she's got things figured back out, has got good legs today, so hopefully we'll get a solid connection here. That's Smircic, what we're talking about right now, one of the Agawatt riders, almost entirely Canadian team. Sierra would say, hey, what about me, the American on the squad? But Agawatt Blaze, Nathan, we are looking at about 9K per lap. And you have to say here that this race is blown to bits. And this was within about 5K. This really started on Libby. And this is going to be the story of the day, some regrouping happening right now. If you can find a small group to ride with, it makes a huge difference in those small recovery sections that you have out here. But now the ladies begin the slog. You can see it pitching up to 8% here. So these climbs, just to give you some perspective, Libby Hill has a long uphill lead in. So calling it 630 meters is being very, very generous at 6.2%. 23rd Street is crazy, 10% for about 250 meters. And then Governors that they're on right now, that's 700 700 meters of climbing at 5%, but then it continues on with the false flat to the actual race finish line here. So just about working their way through lap one.
This is absolutely just mayhem already, as you can see. And I mean, but the early attacks, I'm seeing this theme that's playing out here. It is coming back together, and
it is surprisingly.
Julie may, like I said a little bit earlier, that may have been, we saw an Evo rider actually during the EMEA that went full gas coming out of the Netherlands. It was Virik, I believe it was. I mean, I'm getting the name wrong. I'm absolutely positive, but he went full gas over the top of Libby Hill, full gas over the top of 23rd, took those points off the front, and then done. Like, just rolled it in. But he probably got fastest across the line, fastest through the segment. He did his job for the day. And that's one of the cool things about the points, team points competition that we have playing out here.
Yeah, there's a lot of points. And today we score the Queen of the Mountain there on Libby. And there's also that faster through segment that you talk about. So, I mean, the dynamic completely changed from when we started at the beginning of season one. And these points really stir the pot for excitement. I thought we might see that come back together as a group of 15, but they're pressing again. They weren't going to wait around here as we see riders doing the hard work as they come through this section. Again, you can see 1%, but your legs are really feeling it after the last 10 minutes. You're already putting your body through the mill out here. So let's see if these riders are going to be able to get up and rejoin the front of the bike race where it is wild and crazy up there. They've been going full tilt boogie this entire race. There's your finish line. Our first look at it. 2 to go. So 2 laps remaining now.
Real quickly, I want to jump on in over to the men's race. This is pretty awesome to see. I just want to highlight the fact that both James Milland, Kate Verono, Steve Beckett, this is the ZHQ Rockets that are jumping in here as well. They've got quite the team competing in this B category here. Very cool to see them participating. I'm seeing the other cool thing about this is that there's some seriously long time Zwifters in it amongst theirs. I mean, some of this ODZ crowd that I'm seeing in here, McLaren as well from Team Draft B, we're going to be actually very nice. It was very, very nice to them. They're going to be including their team car in with us here today. Go ahead and show a quick little, and we'll jump in with them a little bit more as the race goes on. But their team car in the lower right hand, we'll get a lot of insight from them. Rick Wagner's in there from No Breakaways as well. Great YouTube channel. Does a lot of Zwift content as well. We'll get some live cam here from Chris Carvalho as well as I believe this is going to be James in here as well from Draft. I believe he was one of the riders up towards the front here. So really great to see and awesome of them to bring the team car. We'll start to be able to hear some of the tactics here amongst the B category for these men. We'll jump back in with them in just a moment as they hit Libby Hill. I want to give everybody an update though as to how things are playing out with this C category for the women. This is the Americas East Women East Division 2 for East C is what we are looking at out here today. They're after their first lap. They will be doing 3 laps out here in the C's. And we've got a breakaway situation with about, it looks like only 8 riders, 9 riders that right here. So, I mean, not.
Is this a breakaway or is this the peloton?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great point. Great point here. 2 riders on the chase from Agawa here. 6 seconds is the difference. They were that Jen here, as well as is that going to be Sierra, are really going to want them to get back on terms here. 4 riders in amongst this group would make such a huge difference.
Boy, that would really just shift the power balance entirely Agawat's direction. That's why it's interesting to see Agawat going to the front right now. I would have thought they would have sat on this group hoping that their teammates could rejoin, but maybe they just want to get back to the business of trying to drop people out of this group. This is quite a dynamic that we're witnessing out here. This is going to be one of the Margaritas riders on the herd team, Q Kellogg, that we're looking at. This is a fun group to watch race. These women are really having at it. I'm looking for Betty Squad gets 1 rider, it looks like, up in this, or is it 2?
I believe it's going to be 1.
It is 1
rider in here.
It is 1.
I'm not sure. I'm seeing
it's
rider.
none.
I don't even think there's 1 rider. I think she fell off terms there with it. It is a very similar looking kit, but Betty Squad with Abbott is back here in and amongst. Is that going to be the Rave Well, I believe this is what Rave is using a lot of times, but I'm not sure if this is actually a Rave team because Delaire here, they do not have a tag in their names. Now they are using these. Now we have Radovas. We have to get familiar with a few of these teams as they are new to us. This is like, and that's one of the cool things is we get to see all of these new teams
there we
cover
go.
across the community.
That is a Betty squad, Nathan, isn't it? Moving right into the middle on that front there.
Yep, Betty squad's right here. This is gonna be the chase group here, back to 15.
That's chase group. Thank
place.
you.
Yeah.
I apologize. My bad.
Yeah.
So that's a chase group that could do some damage here, actually. They look like they're working pretty well together. So let's keep an eye on that, the split that we're looking at. It's not that large, Nathan. I've got it at 11 seconds right now. So this could weld back together here.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see how that ends up playing out. And I'm going to jump on in. Team car here with draft. They're up toward the front of the race now. As you can see, we move into situations. It's going to be the red kits. We do have Rick Wagner on board with the rest of the crew.
Nothing serious right here.
I'm loving these inside views. How are they going to play this out here? This is Rick Wagner's voice. He's de-essing here. They know these names too as well.
Look at this. Now they are really applying the pressure, Nathan.
Get in that group. Come on. All right, right around this second corner. We're going to be going for it.
Let's go ahead and get a full view here of Chris as he's trying to hang on to this move here. You can see him in the left-hand side here.
Let's go.
Points on the line.
Come on, you're pulling him in.
Scoring.
You're pulling him in. There's somebody coming behind you, Jared. King from OTR. You got to beat that guy behind you. He's still coming. He's catching you. Jared, you got to go. 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 Nice, nice, nice. Excellent.
The rider's perspective is interesting, isn't it?
Listen to the dying. Oh,
yeah.
Oh, I mean, there's
Excellent.
absolute suffering going on there.
We got the
Loving
second
it.
fastest time, maybe.
All right. So, yeah, that's really interesting. So we are hearing, we call it from the team car in the ZRL or the world of Zwift racing. And that's a really good example of a director motivating, being clear, and helping the riders understand the task at hand. Look at the damage that's done now. So we see a lot of regrouping in general, but this is one of those moments, Nathan, where the race really is in flux. You never really know what's going to come out the other side. And this one is pretty wild out there right now. That's the draft team. That another one of the legacy squads, the red jersey, or one of the red jerseys that we see out here. That was the rider that they were worried about, King.
Jay McLaren, King on OTR. So they are using a similar kit, it looks like, between them. Now, Lefuega, this was the kit originally of draft before they got their new kit in game, actually. That's what they originally had used. We do see Denny now to the front. This is one of the old school ODZ men, and he's going again. He took off the first one, going for number 2. King on the way, though, from OTR, trying to close it down, but 10 watts per kilogram. All day long.
Man,
no problem.
He's on a mission, huh?
Cryojet sneaking through. Stoker there as well, Dave. ODZ are on fire today.
Just for folks that haven't watched ZRL before, these are a lot of points that are distributed in these King of the Mountain sprints that we have. That was just 23rd Street that we went through. Libby Hill is right before it. They come at you, just body blow after body blow. Now a little bit of a drop, actually, to reference the 2015 World Championships. That was the point on 23rd, about at the bottom of 23rd, where Peter Sagan attacked and ended up holding off the hard-charging peloton. Michael Matthews ended up second for silver that day. But this was infamous, this descent here. You can see riders are going to try to snag a little micro rest if you can here, because you're going to be back at it very quickly on Governor.
Yeah, and I think the plan here will most likely to be, if you're in this group, let it kind of weld itself back together. You don't have to do a whole ton of work. I mean, if you don't want to take a risk here, you can move to the front here. Cryogen, I think, even with this downhill and a little bit of separation, unless somebody's really pressing the pace at the front, this is most likely coming back together as long as you just set a steady tempo. There it is. Easy peasy. No problem. All back together. I think we're going to have a top 20 at this point or so. Now, Beckett. How is Steve Beckett the man on
Look at this.
The ZHQ Rockets? Beckett must have been doing some work over the winter here, because he is the #1 man right now for the ZHQ Rockets.
Well, living in California now, Steve Beckett is turning himself into a monster. I mean, there's been a lot of training done to get to the point where you're attacking off of the front. So the Rockets they're loaded for bear. Lalonde, Beckett, this team is absolutely going to be hard to control out here. So this is a nice way to lead into Governors here. And Nathan, you can see a split has happened that wasn't welded back together. That's a deceptively large gap there back to, we'll get a split for you in a second here, but this is a selection made by monster Steve Beckett.
Yeah, about 11 seconds. About 11 seconds or so up to the front.
Okay, that's touch and go.
And then 9 seconds to the group that's chasing this group with Wadi Inc. on the front. So second group is the Beckett group there with McCabe as well from Draft. And then the third group is this one being led out by Naimoli from Wadi Inc. What is this flag?
Long day
I literally have
out here.
never seen that flag, ever. I'm going to have to find that one.
Interesting. We got to do some research for the herd rider. Right. I'm going to guess that is one of the Caribbean island nations. I want to go back, though. Look at this. It is strung out like a runway model right now as everybody is fighting here. This is not pretty this early in the race. So, Nathan, these guys are doing 5 laps out here for 46K. As you mentioned at the top of the show, 15 sectors that are considered brutal climbs out here. This is the Cobbled Classics on Zwift. And wow, what a day. But look at these riders fighting now for their lives out here on lap number 1.
Brunei is the nation of Brunei with the Adobe of Peace I'm seeing here. It's the country located on the north coast of the island of Borneo in Southeast Asia, actually. So apart from its coastline with South China, see, the country is completely surrounded by Malaysian state of Sarawak. Very small little nation, actually. It's a tiny little part of the Malaysian off of the.
That's so cool.
Yeah, very very cool. Actually, this little tiny state country that. This rider's riding out of, and very, very cool to be representing here and on our program.
So, Nate, there's something like 220 nations recognized by the United Nations now. It's pretty rare, to be honest, that we see a flag that we haven't seen before, and I always think that's not only noteworthy, but it makes me really happy. I don't know why,
absolutely
but
awesome. No, it's so cool. It's the bringing everybody together sense, you know. And speaking of bringing everybody together, we got Jen again.
She's not.
Gigawatt. Yeah. She's not bringing anybody together. She's
leaving everybody.
Ripping things apart here. This is over the top of 23rd. She also took down over the top of Libya, Sierra as well. Copeland here, Miriam, and then it's going to be GP. Go MJ, we're seeing as well here from Remington from ATP. I love the cheering on of each other here out here on course. But Gigawatt, they have shown up to race here in the seas.
Jen Groillo is the rider that we're looking at here. So Jen has, let's do the math, about a lap and a third to go. Lap and a quarter, really. So once she gets done with Governors here in about 4 minutes, she'll be on to the last lap of this race. Fortune favors the bold. And this would certainly be how I would describe Jen. Very, very brave to attack. But you know what? She must know that's what she's got in the tank. It's a small group behind her, so it's not like she's got a group of 60 women chasing her down. Everybody's got their own private hell to go through out here in Richmond. I think that's a 2-rider group right behind her. Sierra, the Agawatt, or the American on Agawatt, and Copeland, another American there on the DD2 team.
And we do have
awesome to see.
We got Preems. It looks like WTRL has been hard at work putting these together for the C division for us. So thanks a lot to WTRL for putting this together for us. And Martin, with endless work coming from him. With the Watts sisters with Julie Langlis, it's going to be Lydia Myers there as well. Wow. Absolutely flying. 43 points. And they're updating as we go, actually, here. Jen there, 40 there from Julie there now as well. Tina Copeland there, 33 points total there. Sonny P there, CCZR, it's going to be with 27. Catherine Bond hammering from, it looks like, the UK with the Flamingos, the Watt sisters, Miriam, and then it's going to be Sierra Sibenlis there with Egowatt Blaze, Alessandra Smears with Egowatt Blaze, and then Cute Kellogg. That's the situation. Now, my question is going to be these big points that we're seeing from a lot of them. Lydia Myers is quite a ways back, but she is leading right now with 43 points. I mean, that's, it goes to show how important, the first go, the second go, the fastest for the segment. That 15 points is absolutely huge. Look where it's to put her, and she's not even, she's sitting back in like 7th place or something like that.
That's more than the rider who ultimately finishes second will receive for that effort at the finish line. So huge is right. So that's what you call being a role player, or certainly in the first half of this race doing your job for the team. And she's not done out there. Lydia will factor into a few more points discussions out here. This is Myers of the Coalition team that we're looking at on the climb now. It pitches up, average of 6% here, but this is the steep part, 8% right here.
Yeah, great job by Myers here, holding tough. She does have a chase group behind her here at this point. It's going to be Kellogg, who also grabbed some solid points there. Kellogg with, was on the board just a moment ago, but it does look like the updates here have pulled her off the board, as we do have more grabbing points as they do come through. Alessandro Smirkic there with 12 total, just behind the C1 Watt sisters. So, but still, Lydia Myers here with the most points are doing the best they can. Is doing the best she can to hold on and off the Margarita Herd rider. That is going to be Kellogg, who was on the leaderboard there just a moment ago. Copeland now to the front from the WTRL Watt sisters. I believe this is going to be hammering away at the front. Her teammate, I believe, Langlos. Julie was the one who took the first fastest through the segment and fastest across the line, and then just said, "Boop," off the back. I'm just going to finish up my race, but grabbed a whole lot of points.
A little bit of reshuffling happening at the front of the bike race now. So this is that false flat that brings us to little more than false, to tell you the truth, that will turn into a false flat that brings us through the finish line. There would be a bell ringing. I love the fact that this finish line in real life is still in existence with the World Championship stripes to honor the that September weekend, or September week, actually, back in 2015. But this is your front group, and we might see another rider joining here, as I think Miriam is going to get up there just 2 seconds back right now. So let's see if Miriam can join the Canadian rider. Jen and Sierra all on the Agawatt team. Coalition has one rider there, and then Copeland as well. But Miriam's going to join now.
3 steady, it looks like. Miriam riding in the Radavas kit. We'll see if we can get some information about Miriam and what's happening with her ride out here for this team. I'm wondering for the Radavas kit here, which team that this is going to be for, because it's definitely a kit that it doesn't have a specific team brand with it itself. Well, at least it's used by a lot of different teams out there for their team branding. So if we see if we can get an idea who she is
it's
riding
an open
for
source.
Yeah, it's open source. I like that. That's a
Yeah.
great way to put it there. Open source use.
Oh, I was really thinking that Miriam was going to latch
she's
back
with
on.
the Watt sisters, actually. Lay Watt sisters. JZQ is from what I'm seeing here. JZQ is who she's going to be riding with.
Man, I wish I could give her 10 watts right now. Actually, you know what? How about 50 watts for 10 seconds? And she's back in this group. This is the biggest ask in cycling here, is when you look at your legs and you're like, I need just a little more, because the difference of where she is right now and sitting in that group is night and day. And this is where you're twisting in the wind here. I'm always going to be pulling for a rider like Miriam to be able to rejoin this group.
A little bit. I think I made a little bit of mistake there. Actually, it's drafting dynos that Copeland is riding for. That's my mistake.
The DD that you see
Tina
up
Copeland.
there.
Yeah,
Right.
that's my mistake. I thought she might have been riding with the Watt sisters, but JZQ, totally different team. So my bad on that.
We'll cut you some slack, Nathan.
The dynos here do have some representation. It's Agawatt that are going to go the 1-2, trying to work over the rest of this group here, most likely. You're going to have an unsaid pact here at this point between the Coalition and the Dinos, I believe, to try and maybe break Sierra as well as Gem. Because the reality is, so far from what we've seen, they've gone 1-2 over the top of 23rd. Usually, whoever's coming over the top of 23rd is, as well as Governors, are your strongest riders. Libby is your initial kick. Most have a little bit fresher legs and matches to burn because of the reality of the downhill in the industrial park. Flat sections along the river. It's kind of breezy. You take it easy, and then bam, in your face, Libby Hill. But that's just the initial, and really, it's 23rd Governors that tell you who the strong riders are.
It's so hard to race in these small groups too, Nathan, as nobody comes into the finale fresh out here. As I mean, there's no peloton to sit in, and even you talk about keeping your powder dry. Well, that's not possible, as everybody's going to be working hard out here.
Yeah, they're completely 100%. Now, back in with the men's race, Denning again on a rampage, taking out the Libby Hill climb just now. Neiman in here from the Rhinos there. It's going to also be, it looks like, Parsegian, and then Parton there. Butler, Carvalho from the draft team, though, trying to close things down. This is going to be Chris Carvalho here. See if we can get some images here coming on in of what this suffering looks like.
Nathan, this to me looks like what you see after the finish of a WTRL team time trial. Just riders all over the place, basically throwing up on the side of the road. This is insane. I mean, have we ever seen, one of the great things about Zwift Community Live that I think the hallmarks of the success is we cover a lot of different categories. Example being, we're in with the women's Division 2 Cs today, and we love it. We get to meet some new riders. Well, this looks like it has been bananas. They used, roller coaster is the perfect way to describe it. They take that and just whip on to 23rd. They're going to be sprinting for points and fastest through segment. I don't know if I've seen anyone get up 23rd this quick. Carvalho is a locomotive right now. And look at Domicus.
Just nips it from him. But consistency there from Chris Carvalho, though.
Parsegian, too. Look at Parsegian out here from Wadi. This is just bananas. So this is the kind of racing that we've been looking forward to on the ZRL, Nathan. There are riders left, right, and center all over the shop right now. These guys are only not even two laps into a 5-lap slugfest here in Richmond.
I'm going to get a quick little idea of how things are playing out here.
Is that Sherpa Dave?
Team. No, this is going to be Rick Wagner from No Breakaways. Rick Wagner from
Rick.
No Breakaways.
There we go. No Breakaways, Rick, who does a great job, too.
So let's see if we can get a little idea of how things are playing out for them here.
Come on, James. Come on, push up, buddy. Come on, James. Try to get in that next group. Let's see a surge.
He's a good motivator.
Here? Oh, yeah, real good. Let's see if we can get an idea of where James is at.
Way to go, man.
Here's James and the suffering from him. giving us a little bit of a
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh, he had a dropout.
Serge, make
James.
sure you're staying with this. James, we're gonna want you to go for the fastest through segment on 23rd and see if you can get it.
Ooh, let's take a look at what this is. So it looks like there's
on
the next time through.
Derek, go with this little group.
The next
This
time
is
through,
James
they're going to try and give it him. Yeah, this is James McCabe.
James, I met James at a bike race last year in real life. He does a lot of work here with junior riders. An absolute great guy, and one of the founders of Draft, if I'm
There's
not
only 6
mistaken.
people in this group, Chris.
Yes, 100%.
Don't lead it out.
Lives in Denver, Colorado.
Don't drag them along, Chris. If they'll go
Great example of our
2.2,
community.
Just go 2.2.
I'm going to head back over to Chris Carvalho here to get an idea of what they're up to here.
If you're going to make a break.
Wanted to really quickly explain the voice that you're listening to is one of the directors. That's the draft team. Rick has a show that you can find on YouTube, and really very knowledgeable.
No breakaways.
Excellent.
Yeah, No Breakaways is great.
All right, we have 2 in the front group.
Big fan.
Looks like our main competition is going to be OTR here. They have 3.
Loving what they bring to the table here. Absolutely great.
He's got 2 riders in this group there. That's the red kit for draft. The orange jersey, is that Steve Beckett up there?
ZHQ Rockets. It's going to be
The Rockets have had a good day.
Wayman here making this front group.
Brenton's hurt.
Nice work. This is the selection that we're looking at.
Serge, you're looking good here. How you feeling?
You might not get an answer, Rick.
Chris?
Anyone? Can you talk?
He's like, just by the fact that I'm here tells you how I'm feeling.
How are you doing, man?
Not very good right now.
Okay.
Not very good right now. Great answer.
That's such a good answer. Oh man,
you got to appreciate the honesty as a director too, right? Don't sugarcoat it.
Anyone else
I'm not
really
good.
in this sprint group?
This is the situation where we are going to be able to see a breakaway.
everybody's
We'll
in the
come
same
back to
boat,
them.
Chris.
Everybody's in the same boat. It's true. I love it. Oh, it's so
You're
good.
going to need to be taking
So
some of these
that's
first
Chris
throughs,
Carvalho that he's talking to there, the rider who is so strong on
putting the
23rd.
hurt to people here these next 3 laps.
Yeah, he is putting the hurt to people, that's for sure.
Yeah, I can see that.
I've been moving to the front here for the
You guys
Zwift
are all doing
Rockets.
great.
They're
You're doing
racing
awesome.
out of the HQ in the orange jersey there. Listen to the breathing.
Oh wow, absolutely great to see this awesome display
job.
that they've been putting on. Really great job by this team. And this is, the cool thing now. You put that in perspective. We just went into the team car and how they're all interacting virtually, and you can tell it's almost like they're right next to each other. Well, they are virtually right next to each other.
Well, that's what it sounds like in a team car.
Right, exactly. And then the other thing is, think about this. Each one of these avatars has the same thing going on in another team car. Like, there's all of these people that are connecting virtually right now, racing each other on this platform like this with team cars just like that. I mean, it's essentially a big, heavy breathing party. But, I mean, at the same time, they are really working together to try and win this race. It's absolutely so cool to see the way that they are tactically playing this out. And that's just one perspective into just draft situation. Now, this is coming back together, it looks like.
Look at this.
Yeah, McCaddy and a few others. And Kate Veruno! What a ride by Kate in this B category.
Oh.
Absolutely awesome to see.
Well, so obviously, in full disclosure, we're both huge fans of Kate. Kate works for Zwift and has done more for the women's side of things. She helped run the talent identification program, Canyon SRAM team. Kate has run that whole thing, and she is more than holding her own out here. Lives in Southern California. Absolutely awesome person. We're going to jump back in with the women now. Well, I should say the women's race, because Kate is in the mixed race over there.
We'll
but
jump
here
back
is
in with
Sierra.
Kate for sure. We cannot miss
She's
the finish
awesome.
of this seas, though, as Agawad is just pushing the pace here. But Coalition now over the top. This is good to see. Look at that grinding of a gear. 53 RPM now. And Sierra Jen on the back foot. Copeland from the dynos trying to come across. Miriam's been dropped. Myers dropped. Smirich is also dropped. It looks like Noemi here as well. Off the back with Kellogg. So this is the move. 3 off the front. I don't think Copeland's coming back there, Dave.
No, I don't think so either, Nathan. I'm with you. But look at this. Everybody is on their own. No one is working at this point in the draft of another rider. So this really does turn into a slugfest on this classic course. So this group, the women's C's, they are out on their final lap, and they are well into it now. Oh, boy, this is going to be fun. Governors, well, boy, the suffering that you go through.
This is going to be so fun, Dave.
Yeah.
The German rider here.
They said, sign up for esports. It's fun, they said. Yeah.
Coming out of Germany.
And then they said, make sure you got a bucket.
She's got 443 watts for 15 seconds. This is a rider who can kick. Is that almost 8
They
watts
just did
per kilogram?
exactly. Yeah, no kidding, huh? Nathan, those 2 riders did exactly what you've been teaching us about for months there, using the momentum of the draft to slingshot one rider onto 23rd, and that might be it for Jen Groliot, as she could be going, gone, trying to channel her inner Peter Sagan at this point, attacking on 23rd out of a very small select group. This might be it. Let's see if she can hold on now. It's about
she's done this
2.5K from
over
here.
again, and it's come back each time. But I think the sting is going to be in the legs at this point. Sierra fading now, as you can see over the top. Jen's got 5 seconds. Their teammates, actually, if they can get together, it would be in their interest. But Jen
It would
does
make
not
all
want
the
to wait
sense
up.
in the world. Right.
It really would.
Right.
But with 18 seconds, it's almost like if Sierra doesn't have the power to come across, and Jen does have the power. And with 18 seconds at this point, she probably doesn't have to worry about it. And going back to Sierra might actually hurt more by waiting that much
And to be
because
honest,
of that.
Nathan, they could do whatever they want at this point. That gap's gone out to 18 seconds from Jen back to the German rider. So this is pretty much, you never know what's going to happen here, but I think that they've got this one exactly where they want it. Agawat is having quite a season. I think it was you who said the other day they're no longer a team, they're a brand. And we're really starting to see that here as their women's C team, Nathan, is ready to start seeding riders up on the B and the A team, and Agawat will eventually have a team in Premier.
100%. The way that Agawat is riding, their motivation, their leadership, I would have to say, is
They're
also
organized.
a huge part
Yeah.
of that. Extremely organized. They've got, I was told, Greg Boulot, if I'm saying that correctly, my French is so bad, just to be totally honest on that side of things. But I know he's in there de-essing for them as well. Ex-professional rider, just absolutely across the board, the Agawat brand and
They've got a
that
cool
squad.
name.
Yeah, the organization. I mean, they actually showed up with one of the coolest. I was like, okay, this is a team
this
to
is
watch
pretty
out
good.
for.
Yeah, this is like, beast mode level, right? You show up, you're organized, you've got some depth. The women seem stoked. You can feel a social media presence, and that sets a really good model for other women that want to do the same thing themselves. You absolutely can. It's just, here's a good way to go about things. So makes it easy to be an Agawat fan. That's for sure. And we'll see if they can hold on to go 1-2 today. It looks like Jen and Sierra are just about to sign, seal, and deliver this one.
Jen Grullo absolutely walking away. Agawat Blaze
Superstar.
having a great
Yeah.
ride out here today. She is a level 24 Zwifter. Great to see. And then it's going to be Sierra.
Oh, a
her
baby
teammate.
Zwifter. A baby
Yeah.
Zwifter.
Oh,
Nathan.
no!
Oh, no!
Sierra!
Oh, my.
Sierra
Technical.
Simlin-
We got a technical.
Simlinst. Oh, she's got it, though. Back on
Oh,
the pedals. Scaring us here now. Sierra.
She did the old stop and go. Yeah.
I'll just grab a sandwich, little coffee break.
Yep.
Still
I
win
think
the race.
Oh, boy, look how close that is, though.
Copeland!
So she's going
Where did Copeland come from? Copeland
she's
is on
charging
a-
now.
What is happening?
Okay.
No way.
Well, for me, I have to cheer for Sierra after whatever just happened there. Just, boy, oh, boy, this one is crazy.
But wait,
Well,
Copeland
that's why
was behind the coalition
Nathan,
rider.
this is wild. This is wild.
Copeland was behind
And-
Sienna. What is going on? This is insane.
Making a pass now.
She's on a dinosaur. Donnybrook is what's
She
going
might
on
make the
here.
catch.
The dinos.
She might make.
Oh,
my goodness.
God. This is
The
insane.
drafting Dinos 2 team, and Copeland is looking like she is hunting down Sierra,
So
our leader.
strong. Tina
This one.
Copeland. Phew.
Tina, what a ride. What a beast. So this is going to be brutal for Sierra here. Sierra Siebenlist trying to hold off a charging dinosaur.
She's got a kick. She's got an 8.3. She's got an 8.3. Tina Copeland doesn't. Tina Copeland's got nothing but watts per kilogram. I'm not kidding you. Tina Copeland has got a steady 3 watt per kilogram FTP. From
7
what I've
should
seen
be
here.
enough, Nathan.
Yeah,
7 should be enough for
And
Sierra.
Sierra, I think.
Yeah.
But Copeland, what a ride from her.
She's got it.
Amazing. And big
Yeah.
shout out to Tina Copeland there. That is awesome ride there from the drafting dinos. I'm seeing on her profile 60 plus from Copeland. Amazing ride from her. Absolutely awesome to see. Sierra here
You're
though.
saying that is awesome. If that true, it's either way. That's an awesome ride. If she is 60 plus, ooh la la,
yeah,
that is amazing.
3 watts per
I mean,
kilogram. FTP of 152. Very light
what a
rider.
boss!
Yeah,
Well,
absolutely. a
here's
killer.
your champion. That's the gold medal winner, and I think
Agawat.
Agawat. It's a points-based thing, but they did a great job today.
They took so many
Tina.
points. I'd be surprised if they didn't win it out here today. Coalition, though, they're kind of rallying a little bit here.
Yeah, we'll see. It's going to be interesting on top of the table how second and third play out. That's for sure. As Coalition, here you go. There's another Myers who picked up a lot of bonus points out there too. So finishing strong here. It looks like Coalition probably on my abacus. I've got them second.
You got an abacus next to you there, Dave? I didn't know that was a part of the equipment that we were talking about getting.
Issued by Zwift.
I was like, no, I was.
You didn't get an abacus?
No, I was thinking we were doing the microphone and a camera, maybe a computer, but the abacus, that was one I never thought I needed, but I guess that was a good call there. Adding up the points, because WTRL, they couldn't get the data, so you just got the abacus. Is that what was going on?
It gave me an abacus. They said, well, I was the only guy old enough to know how to use one.
Yeah,
right?
well, I got it.
I'm the senior on the staff.
I mean, when you can't get the data, then we just go with the abacus. I mean, if we got to
Well, they say, why don't you have Dave Toll guess then? We can't, right? That's what Martin said. Martin's like, well, if the data doesn't work, just have Dave Toll guess, and we'll use that.
We'll use that.
Yeah. Here's Ellett finishing. So there's that Betty Squad kit. Nathan, I don't know if I'm agreeing with you.
Abbott as well.
Best kit in game. I'm not saying for the women in game. No one does better than Betty Squad.
It's a pretty big call. You and Kate on the big calls today. There was a ride by Sky this morning in APAC, and she said best across the entirety of the league for the season.
Nice. That's my girl.
And Anna was like, the Tour de France hasn't even gotten halfway through yet, kind of a call. Like, what are you talking about? So.
You know, those are two awesome colleagues, aren't they? I just enjoy the heck out of listening to Kate and Anna. No doubt.
Absolutely. Back in with the men. They just got over the top of 23rd. There is a little bit of a battle going on at the front here. Yeah, Neiman in here, demolishing it. We'll get results from the women's race in just a moment, but this is your top, it looks like 4 that have gone over the top, and Draft have found themselves in an amazing situation here. What a great treat that we have to be in with their team car as well.
Yeah, that again is Rick from No Breakaways that we've been enjoying listening to his direction for the team. And it looks like Rick is giving some solid advice out there. Neiman and though one of our rhinos here in, let's call this a dozen gladiator group here, but they're attacking themselves. Maybe not quite attacking Nathan, but definitely pushing the accelerator down to the floorboard here at this point, as nobody's going to wait around. D'Angelo is another one of the draft riders. Carvalho has already shown himself to be one of the strong men out here. Cryogen, though, Domikis, absolutely outstanding. And I'm going to lay back a little, Nathan, as we can listen to Rick with draft.
Yeah, I think James is having some technical difficulties, actually, perhaps. Or he's just...
James Carvalho?
No.
That's
James,
Chris Carvalho, I'm sorry.
Chris Carvalho, yeah. James McCabe, I think, is having a little bit of technical difficulty.
Back in the second group, I think.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's go, Serge.
Anyway, I'll leave you guys be for a second.
All right. Push up, Serge. You're doing great, man.
So, Sergio, I think
Yeah,
Sergio's
let
back
those
a
guys
little
go,
bit.
Chris. You don't have to chase them down.
Oh, listen to that. That's a great... I like that.
Let him go.
Let him go. Don't have to chase it down.
We want the other people to be covering gaps. Try to keep it 3-5 or so.
And that's a really solid advice. I mean, Nathan, how many times have you heard me say the name of the game here is letting other people finish what's on their plate and helping them do that before you start on yours? And that's what he's talking about is, hey, we don't have to chase everything back. Other teams are more worried than we are, so let them do it.
Great job in that group.
And
I think it'll come back together, Brenton, on the flats and the downhill.
these guys have a ways to go.
Just stay patient and surf those
Look
wheels.
at this room.
If it doesn't come back, that's fine. I just don't want you
is
burning
like,
the matches. We
he's
want
got
you
like
at the top of this back.
5 snowboards.
Okay.
He's got, I mean, this is the,
Beautiful,
like,
guys.
he's
You're
got a
doing
full-on
awesome.
gaming chair set up on the right over there. His Zwift set up on the left. I mean, this is quite
This guy is not messing around.
No,
this
he's
gentleman,
not messing around at all here. This is pretty amazing setup here coming from Chris Cavallo.
So there's about 20 in the top group now.
Loving
it looks like, so Out here in the Western U.S., a lot of universities now have gear libraries, right, where you can rent
Great job,
snowboards
Chris.
or
Great
tents
job,
or
Derek.
sleeping bags. That
Great job,
basically
Brennan.
looks like a gear library
Serge.
to me. That's pretty impressive.
Now it
Chris
does look
Carvalho.
like
Mountain West, boys.
look at him
Mountain
just
West.
follow look at him following every
Clearing
single
third,
move
fastest
here.
through on 23rd.
Phew.
You
They
are
must be
excellent.
worried about a
Good job.
split.
Let's try that
That's why you
strategy
position
again then,
yourself.
Jared, where
Denning has the
you're,
ability to do damage out here.
where you grab onto a big
That's
group
the
and power
ODZ
up.
jersey, Nathan, with the blue, the light blue, and the orange stripe right in the middle there, black on the shoulder.
Yeah, Denning's already done so much damage. We'll see if we can
He
get the point
has.
spread here at this point and see where things are at. As we see Chris following wheels, keeping the DS in his ears, making sure he doesn't go. They don't go anywhere. They're not on the attacks. It seems like it's more about just staying involved because it's all about that top 10 across the line a lot of times for those big points.
What are your thoughts on the Tron bike? You can't do better than that, can you, today?
No, the Tron bike, I mean, absolutely.
That's the choice.
Yeah, I, in my opinion,
you've got
in
it.
my opinion, the Tron bike is it's either a Tron or you trust the fast rolling, the super fast rolling bikes as well. That could be where it's at as well. I'm gonna see if we.
It's
got
interesting,
points
though.
here
Look
for
at the draft.
Bs. I don't think we do. So we do not have, just so you guys, any splits on the B category. The A category is the only one that's coming through. So apologies on that. We can show you the leaderboard at least for fastest through. So we'll go ahead and do that
Wayman?
here real quick.
I was just saying, Wayman from Zwift HQ having a really strong ride up in this group. But there you go, 21:69 from Domicus there.
You saw that happen too. You called that one out when he came flying by Chris at that one time, and I think that was all in for that move. I don't think he's even a part of this. I think that was just an all-in move. I don't think he's actually made the front group with that. Oh, he actually has. My mistake. He is here. B. Domicus is here from CryoGen.
There he is, right at the back, right in the
my
back,
mistake.
in the orange. Excuse me, in the white and blue there. Yeah.
And then Kate's got the 3363. This looks like she is the only female in the crowd. So good on her. Libby Hill, it looks like Denny with a 108. Absolutely flying. McLaren's there as well from draft. Solid ride here coming in from him.
That 108 to do that could be the longest minute of your life. How much that hurts.
Oh, it's full
there
gas.
on Libby.
So full gas.
That is.
I've been a,
that's full
what did
nitrous.
They do,
yeah.
What did they do in the men's? Do you remember?
We didn't see that split. Yeah,
No?
I apologize, Nathan. That's a great question.
No, it's okay, because I've seen like in the KISS Racing League, like when we had the Super League going on, like there was sub 1 minutes going on. I wouldn't be surprised if it was sub 1 minute.
I think
like
Freddie
57,
Ovid did like a
56.
58.
Yeah,
50,
just crazy, crazy times.
Well, look at this. They brought group is getting a little larger out here now.
We saw this in the men's EMEA as well with the larger groups, firepower. It came back together and ended up being a sprint of attrition like we saw. I only watched the women's premier division, and I saw the race of attrition over the top of Governors at the end. It ended up being Lethbridge followed up by Curie trying to close it down. But there was still kind of a semi-group sprint in and amongst it, right behind them. And we've seen that over and over again for those that kind of came to the line still with the pack. It still ended up being a sprint of attrition. And usually somebody who goes over the top of Governors, like right as it levels off or even goes down a little bit, right there, the attack has almost always stuck or from 300 after they close it. If it doesn't stick, there's somebody who comes over the top immediately after it's caught at like 300 and they end up winning the race because nobody's got anything left. They just rode wheels as much as they could and then just eked something out at the end.
If Kolchinsky and MacGyver had one Hino rider with them, that break might have stayed away.
Yeah, I think that peloton worked very well against them. They stayed together purposely, knowing how they did a really good job. Because I think that those two, I think, were so incredibly strong. It's just they didn't have quite enough bodies with them to make it happen there. But
yeah, I mean, honestly, if they had one Hino.
Kolchinsky said it was the funnest race she's ever done, actually, on Zwift. One of the funnest.
Oh, good for her. She says that every week. So.
Well, she does say that just about. I think this kind of a race is one of what I was saying. This not just Kolchinsky, but there's a lot of riders who enjoy this kind of a race, though. This kind of brings out that. That's like, okay, and it's kind of like it's either you love this kind of race or you hate this kind of a race. It's kind of like you see all these posts are like, who did this to us? who's this Charlie Eisendorf guy? What's going on? And then you've got
I love
other
that.
people who are
Absolutely.
like, and then there's other people who are like, this is exactly what I want. This is what I signed up for, you know? And I think it's far and few that you get this is what I signed up for people. Maybe at the higher A and elite category, you get more of that, you know, because it's just people who have given their life to suffering in some sort of way. But I think, you know, there's definitely a love-or-hate relationship with this course. So that's for sure.
You know what? I think it's fair to say that the riders who like it hard, who like a tough course, this was as good as it gets when you talk about the cobbled climbs of Richmond. I mean, this is brutal racing, no doubt. And it's not for everybody. But to be honest, this is the when you look at the DNA of racers who are successful, you know, talking about Kolchinsky or Beth McIver, who's a 2-time winner, or Catherine Curie, they all seem to really shine on a course like this. And how cool was it to see Alice Lethbridge win? Alice is another rider that she does so much. I mean, how many emails have you gotten from her regarding the junior Socks for Watts Unicorns team? Right? I mean, she puts out a lot of effort for other folks to enjoy esports, in particular here on Zwift. She's a great person.
Yeah, amazing effort there by Alice Lethbridge. Not only leading the charge on both fronts. You know what I mean? It's a rare individual that'll do that kind of a thing where they race, and then on
she's
top
not
of that,
selfish.
They are also a part of the program to bring up the juniors, and they give back. They give back to the program in a lot of ways.
I mean, honestly, if you said, like, give me an example of someone who shines in the Zwift community, Alice Lethbridge would be one of the first people that I pointed to. And then to see her win on such a competitive day in the ZRL, that's amazing. Because it is so rare, Nathan. I mean, I hate to say it, but I think it's true, basically. It's pretty rare that the old saying, good guys finish last. Well, there's something to that in elite athletics. If you're nice to other people and constantly helping make things happen for others,
but when the good guys win, a lot of times there's a little extra roar of the crowd. There's a little extra roar of the
100%.
crowd. That's for sure.
And let me just put a point on that. That is Alice Lethbridge. If you talk about the good, she's the good person. So very nice to see. Let's hope a good guy wins out here.
Little bit of comments coming through. Kolchinsky happens to be in chat saying, was a blast, the most fun. And go Christina. Christina's not on our images today as we're covering a different division, but go Christina as well. Hoping things are going plaid over in the other Division A for Team Riot and the rest of the crew. Hope it's going plaid for all of
those results.
All of the A's and divisions. Yeah, as those are going to be super interesting. We happen to be on a different division this week as we love to be covering across all of the categories and giving highlights to everybody in the Zwift community. But I have a feeling they're having quite the time, most likely right around the same point as these men are, probably a little bit past their fourth time up and over the top of this climb as we're back in with Denning, who has been dominating these points so far.
Yeah, these guys are going to be happy to have this one paid. It's a long day. This is the hardest day that we've seen in 3 seasons of the ZRL, in my opinion. Nathan, I'd love to, if you have a counterpoint to that, please share it with me. But I don't know of a tougher day than what we've seen out here. You can talk about a few different days as being really rough, but not like today. And again, here we go. These will be big points waiting for the riders at the top of Libby Hill.
Cavallo here now, you can see, making some moves. Good to see. Let's see if we can get a little bit of
let's go for it. Let's get second here,
insight. Chris going for second, trying to go for it.
There goes
He's going to be able to come across. Denning's over the top.
Come on, get that guy.
Cavallo's struggling up and out of the saddle. Almost up against Butler here. 10 watts per kilogram. Oh, I think he did it. It was right there. It was right there. Oh, I love to see that. I love the encouragement coming through.
There you go. Nice, Derek. Nice. You're right on.
Angelo's now trying to get back on terms.
Nice
Looks like he's going to do it.
This is a critical section right here to be in the draft, Nathan. How critical is it to make sure you're in the draft right here?
Way to push over the top.
Oh, absolutely. If you're gone at this point, it just rolls away. And the other thing about this is that it is a 1% uphill gradient here. Look at Chris, able to sit up, relax a little bit. As you can see, he's on the front. Now, this is the thing. On the front there, he's going to want to actually get behind these riders 3.1
he's
here at this
doing that.
point.
I think he was trying to, because he's only making 1 watt per kilo. He's making, he needs to get in this group, but not on the front to use
Wow,
that
pretty damn work.
slipstream effect.
Ooh,
He's
they're
done it
gonna
okay.
come
They're
flying
coming.
now at this
You're gonna
point
be in a
here.
good
Now he's
spot
gonna.
here, Chris.
Does he latch
Oh, he's
in?
got to get back
No.
on quick.
Oh, no.
You're gonna be Chris. Push
Get
through
in
him.
there.
Push through him right now. Come on, slingshot through him, Chris. Slingshot through him.
Ooh,
There you go.
boy, this
There you
looks
go.
tough
See,
here.
see.
There
Go,
it is.
go,
There
go,
it
go,
is.
go,
Over to
go.
the top 11 watts per kilogram. He's gonna
That's
hold
right.
on. He's got to hold on to 11
Baby,
all the
come
way
on.
to the top, though.
Keep
He's
it
got to
rolling.
keep
Keep it
it moving.
This is
He's
solid.
got a gap
Perfect.
here at this point. 10 meters,
Keep it rolling,
11
Chris. Come on.
meters.
You got a big
Butler's
gap.
coming
You got a
on.
big
He
gap.
may have this. This is great to watch from a live point.
Just keep the power
Engage.
up. Just keep the power up.
Oh,
Monster
4.1. No. He's going to
Push,
do
push,
it.
push,
He
push.
did it.
Yes.
He
He
did
does
it
it.
there. Butler takes
Excellent.
third. Denning
See,
ends
Garrett,
up
great job
fading to
staying on
Chris.
there.
Great
Great job
de-icing there
staying on
coming in from Rick Wagner.
Good job, guys.
Yeah,
I thought his name. I thought it was
Nathan.
no breakaways. I thought that this is all about the breakaways.
So, Nathan, that was pretty pro right there from Chris, as well as when he knew he had it, he didn't waste any extra watts. And here we go. That was some solid racing. We got to be in the team car with Draft as Chris Carvalho putting on a clinic there on 23rd Street. Well, you almost feel like you're into the finale, but they're going to get the bell with 1 lap to go the next time they go through the finish line here. But, man, this has shattered the race at this point.
Yeah, completely. 1 second back, though. It looks like Parton and a few others going to get back on terms. Ooh, wait a minute here. ZHQ Rockets. I want to know where Kate Verono is at this point, because Verono, she was going really well. Looks like her and Beckett maybe working together. Yep. Is
And
Lalonde
Lalonde.
here as well? They're
Yeah,
about
he
to hit
is. Looking
23rd. This is the ZHQ Rockets train now. Back in the top 30s almost. They're going to have to work for a top 30 placing, though. That's where a lot of points are, Dave. Top 30. Outside the top 30, you really, I mean, does it completely fall off at that point? I think they're on the cusp of not gaining any points. And their current team standings, actually, they put them with 33 points, actually. So they're going to have to really earn it out here today.
Yeah, this is going to be quite a lap ahead for the ZHQ Rockets. Let's do it, boys, as that's the orange jersey that we've got in this group. I see they've got some Rhinos, some of the Waddy Inc. riders in this group as well. All right, so on 23rd, there's no points here, so these guys should have a steady, well, and how about Kate out there? Legend, Kate Verano.
Absolute legend. Absolutely. Great to see. And obviously been putting some work in, I'd have to say.
Yeah,
Ex-professional
doubt.
racer, top end on the women's side of things.
yeah,
And
Kate has been with Zwift for quite a while.
almost
she
right
was
from the
one of
get-go. I mean,
Yeah.
super early on.
one of
When I
the
first started
early-
working with Zwift, Kate was very soon after, was right there. I mean, we're talking 2016. I mean, this is very early days. 2015 it might have been, I think.
Yeah, and the brand and the personality and the vibe. Kate is a great example of an inclusive, fun person who has a get it done attitude for sure. So that's Kate that we're in with right now. She also has 2 of the biggest dogs I've ever seen in my life.
Yes, she does. I've met these. I think I've met the
They are
dogs as well.
huge.
I think they came
Yeah.
for a walk when we were at ZHQ one time as well. Had a great time as well over. She was part of the Iceland crew that went over and hammered away for setting. Winning that race with it's first and second place with the 2 teams that were over there hammering away. So Kate's absolutely great. Now let's see if we can work our way back to the front here and see what is happening at the front end of the race. Things are blowing apart with this chase group. As well, it's not.
Yikes.
It's turning into a chase group, as I believe it's going to be McCaddy here from LPC that's really put the pressure on with Magnus of Team ODZ. They don't want to carry any of this extra weight around with them. I think that's what's happening
Yeah.
here. You don't
Boy,
want
this
those
is how-
sprinters coming to the line.
No, and this is how you make sure that they don't with a huge effort like that, as McCaddy really putting the pressure on here. Let's see what happens now. This group is going to change. They're coming up on 1 lap to go at this point. This is going to be a brutal finale out here today.
Absolutely. Looking at here, it looks like McCaddy. I'm going to try and get some information here over on ZPM, McCaddy, and what is going on with this.
That's
rider.
Jamaica, the flag, correct?
Yeah.
I'd like to think that's Jamaica from all the times I've seen that flag in the Olympics. I hope I'm not wrong. All of a sudden, I have self-doubt.
Team McCaddy. Well, bobsled. Come on now. I mean, okay, just kidding. So McCaddy here, it is going to be.
Now you're showing your age.
Coming out of.
I guarantee you.
Yeah, it's true.
Your kids don't know that movie.
Yeah.
Well, unless they might now. On cable, right?
They would have had to watch it with me. So but we have not. You're right. James McCaddy, he's killing it here. It looks like he's a level 50 Zwifter out of Jamaica. For Team Jamaica. That is pretty awesome to see. And absolutely killing it here right now toward the front end. Now, who he's riding for, though, today on LPC. LPC is going to be probably guest riding for a team, but I'm not positive which, because I'm not seeing that in the B standings here. So we'll see if I can get an idea. Maybe I can get a little bit of help here from Martin. Let us know where that's at.
I want to Zwift in Jamaica. That sounds pretty cool to me. Or the Bahamas, either way. But I would imagine, Nathan, that Zwift comes in quite handy. There's probably limited roads to ride on Jamaica, I would think. I mean, obviously there's some, and I know there's not a lot of cars on the island, but I'm going to guess that Zwift is probably a pretty awesome resource for somebody on the smaller islands.
That's a great point. We do have a little bit of a break off the front here. Is this going to be lapped riders? No, this is actually a break with Buckley making a move. And Lovato, though, is a lapped rider, it looks like.
Okay. Macbeth is not the Wadi Inc. rider, however. Some riders able to grab a little micro rest here, the Super Tuck, including, I'm sure Rick was telling the draft guys to do exactly that. Looks like they are. McCaddy is with Royal City, it sounds like. Does that make sense? We'll have our crack research staff track that lead down.
Yeah, we're waiting on that one.
Racing for the boys from Guelph.
Huh. Bruce Wayman here, also from the ZHQ, hammering away. And see if we can get some.
Had a good ride today.
Had a really good ride. I'm looking at Bruce's profile here, and this is looking. I'm just wondering if there's some bands on his arms here. I'm wondering about. Yeah, Royal City. It looks like MB2. We're hearing.
Nice.
I wonder if Bruce has some Palmares that I'm unaware of there, because he has made a front group here in this B category, having a solid ride right now. Yeah, no, watch out for McCaddy. I have a feeling this Jamaican rider, he might have been saving a little bit or something, because that was quite the little push over the top there. And 143 beats per minute. It's come down pretty quickly here. I wonder if he's kind of been biding his time. And
Richmond is a world that's existed in the Zwift platform for quite a while, too. It's one of the... Boy, I don't remember the exact order, but it wasn't the first world after Watopia. That was London, I believe. Nathan would know. But it was, I think, right after London, to tell you the truth. So
I believe
he's
Richmond
probably
was
talking
first
about
for Worlds.
Was Richmond before London?
I want to say Richmond was before London. Yes. I want to say Richmond.
So McCaddy has probably ridden out here
enough. Put me on the spot
enough.
here, and it's so long ago that I can't remember actually. But I believe Richmond was before London actually, because it was a really big push for Worlds, and then London was a new thing that was like a big deal. Like, not that the Richmond Worlds wasn't a big deal, but it was a smaller course, and then the London was like, whoa, like a whole new.
It was a more expansive world, wasn't it?
Yeah. So,
right.
Yeah.
And that was, yeah, absolutely. Well, that's cool to get to know McCaddy out here again. This is the Guelph is a city in Canada that's known as the Royal City. And we've watched that team on the men's and the women's side come on strong. That's the Bumblebee jersey that you can see, the black and yellow with two riders right up on the front right now. There's our man right on cue, Wayman of the Zwift headquarters Rockets team.
Now, this guy lives in Canada, we're being told, McCaddy. Riding for the Royal City cycling team. Actually.
There you go. That's
so Jamaican, hanging out in Canada though. Good to see. We'll see if Royal City can pull something off here though, because I think he's slightly isolated. And Cavallo, they're gonna have, a little extra TV time could put a lot of motivation in the legs, right, Dave? Like you're
sure.
gonna be on camera, and I think that sometimes that makes a little bit
put
extra,
on your best.
Yeah, you definitely
performance.
can. The witness of individuals definitely can change some things.
And let's be honest, that's really something you see with athletes, that some folks do well with that kind of pressure, and others don't. Let's listen in with Rick.
We're just talking about points there for a second.
This is the draft team again.
Can you guys hear me? Check 1, 2.
Looks like they're
maybe not.
I think that they're probably just got Rick's channel open along with their Discord communication, but no broadcast. Rick might. He's pretty focused on what he's doing. He doesn't need our help, I guess.
Yeah, I could give the viewers some inside information, but there's a lot of the communications I do go over the network, and I had to change some things up, so I'd have to.
Boys got it.
I'd have to do some tech stuff for them to hear me. We'll see if we can do that for an interview afterwards, but. Cavallo now it looks like not to the front. They're going to play it real smart. We'll see if we can listen in how it goes here as well as call the action at the same time. Big bet there. Wadi Inc. setting up well. I think there's going to be some fade climbing most likely coming from D'Angelo. I think D'Angelo is going to want to try and be up toward as far to the front as he can without burning too many matches, because we did see him just barely hang on the last time through. I have a feeling D'Angelo has a solid sprint on him. Cavallo, though, he may be the rider for the attrition of this race, and he has been so smart about his positioning here. He's took it second or third almost every single time over the top.
So sag climbing is definitely an art of getting to the front at the beginning of the climb. Now, they're already climbing. Look at this. It's at 8%. But then having that wiggle room to slide back through the group but still be in contact as you come up and over the top. So this is it right here, right now. It is on as they will slam this right-hand turn. And they are now on the cobbles, the legendary cobbles of Libby Hill here in Richmond. So this is the first body blow that they're going to have to weather. Who is going to come out over the top here? Points on the line, and we are setting the table for the finale right now.
Cavallo now up in the orange numbers. You can see the move there coming from him. His DS in his ear, telling him to give it everything he's got. Now he's coming strong. Is Cavallo going to make this happen? There's still another turn to come. 8.2. He might get it. Oh, now he sits down. He's got to go again, though. And, that's a good call there coming from the DS. Don't kill yourself. There's a lot of racing to go. He gets it live in front of us there. Amazing move there coming from Cavallo and Team Draft.
Derek, let's get
you can
That's
tell.
a 2-point difference.
You can tell they're so tired, though. You can see it. Like, did you see how Chris? It wasn't like this, like it wasn't like everything you got. It was just like, what do I got left? Kind of a sprint. You know what I mean? Like, and now look at D'Angelo's there as well now.
So, Nathan, you hit the nail on the head, though. If you normally sprint at 1,100 watts, you're going to be looking at making power down in the 900s with the effort that you've made to get to this point. It definitely takes the bloom off the rose. Look at this long line. It's going to come back together here on the descent down to the bottom of 23rd, and then we light the fuse again. This is that body blow after body blow that we've been talking about. And now, Nathan, it really hurts. Their legs are pooling up with lactic acid now. These little gaps are very dangerous.
Very, very dangerous here now, as it's going to be touch and go for anybody trying to hang on. Win there from Vision. It does look like there may be one or two OTR. This is it. Whether or not you are here, this is your race, and you've got to make it over to 23rd, getting back on terms and going over to the top. Look at these guys. Denning trying to go. Carvalho, Demekis now again. He did this last time. Is he going to maybe make it happen again here? But here comes King. OTR. Oh, my gosh. On the rivet. Just over the top. What a move coming from them.
Taking some quick inventory right now, Nathan. That means that King has got to be an incredible threat for the win. I'm not saying that he goes in a solo break, although maybe he does at this point, but clearly he's kept his powder dry and is right now timing this perfectly. King is rolling away. This is an incredible, incredible finale.
Now, wait a second. My mistake. Look at something here, Dave. This was something we talked about earlier, and we just called this out, but I mean, we couldn't have known if we really looked at it very closely here just a moment ago. King just used that pack to get the fastest segment, but he is 1 lap down. They aren't paying any attention to him. He used the pack to get the fastest segment, and they know. If we would have been listening, I bet you that Rick's all over that.
That Rick knew that. That's really interesting.
He's all over it.
And it almost, I mean, that is fascinating when you think about should that be allowed, right?
We talked about this earlier, and we thought that the spirit of it was okay. Like, at least I came down to the idea that they're not impacting anything actually in the race in any way other than fastest through the segment by what they're doing there.
Yeah.
You know, so
that explains how. That's really interesting. Very interesting. But Nathan, I'm with you. I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, I mean, because at the end of the day, those riders, what it really is about is only the segment. Like, that's all they care about, and they just have to finish on the day. So if they're going to roll around and they can use the pack however they possibly can, they get 3 or 4 shots at it. They might not get a 5th shot at it. You know what I mean? But they get this many shots, and then they get across the line. I mean, I think that's actually the spirit of it. Now, this is an early attack here. Pignarelli, will he be able to hold on? I want to know what they tell the team to do here at this point, because this is all or nothing.
You chase. You have to. I mean, you can't let anyone get any kind of leash here. Pignarelli is gone. This gap is at 4 seconds. This is going to be a big problem. This is what we call Canuck up right now. This is Royal City out of Guelph. And okay, well, we know who the man who's going to be chased to the finish line is now.
Look at
Gap growing. It's at 8. It's at 9.
Cavallo's got 5
so he's
left
opened up
kilogram.
a huge gap.
Chris is suffering here. Really, really suffering here at this point. Cavallo, 10 seconds. I think Pignarelli's just gone. I don't think anyone's
I don't think they get him. I mean, unless they do something dramatic here. Once he makes the right-hand turn onto Monument, if he's still holding on to 8 seconds, that should be enough money in the bank.
Yeah, it looks like 9 seconds here. Any power-ups is going to be the question there. Denning, though, I know Denning's
even
got
with
huge
the power-up
kick here. Cavallo now 5 seconds back here. Not sure this is going to happen. Look at the suffering on the face. Everything. He's laying it all on the table.
Gone.
Up and out of the saddle. But no, I think 10 seconds, there's just too much.
So that's 50 points. If he can hold on, second place is good for 40 points out here. I'm going to say Pignarelli has caught them on the back foot here. Beautifully timed. Royal City's going to get this one with, that is some tactic and strategy there. Well done.
Ooh, here comes Denning. Denning up and out of the saddle, trying to come across. 10 watts per kilogram. I think it's just a little bit too little too late, but it's a big kick here from Denning. Man. What a move. Oh, it's my goodness. Right to the line. Here comes Zemeckis. D'Angelo's there as well. Oh, my gosh. But it's going to be Pignarelli, D'Angelo, Denning, and then Chris Cavallo there across the line. Oh, draft. Putting on a good show, but it was Royal City and ODZ 1-2. Whew. Absolutely awesome to see. Great racing in the men's race here.
Well, let's put that one down as one of the best moves that we've seen in the history of the ZRL, to tell you the truth. There was a really small window of opportunity there. So fortune favors the brave. Let's reference that. That's where we started the race, and that is certainly where we can put a point on it here at the end. Unreal how fun that was to watch today. There's one of the big stars of the day, Chris Carvalho of the draft team. And again, thanks, Rick, from No Breakaways, for letting us listen in. Some great directing out there by the draft DS. So, thanks again, everyone, for joining us as we wrap things up here. It's been a big day of racing, over 46K, 5 laps out in Richmond.
There we go. Apologies on that. We were just making a quick little change there. See if we can get in with a... I'm just going to double check and see if these guys can hear me and maybe be able to jump in with these guys. Hey, guys, can you hear me okay?
You're reeling that guy in, Brenton.
You got me?
Hey, Nathan.
Yeah,
how are
Rick.
you?
Going good.
How
Let's
are
go
you?
ahead and bring these guys in.
All right.
That was
Let's go,
a
Brenton.
great...
Come on, you got it. Get those two. Get him, buddy.
Oh, we don't want to interrupt you too much here.
No worries, Nathan. Sorry. Come on, Brenton. Get those two. Come on. All the way through, buddy. You got it. You got it. Yes. That's what I'm talking about. Come on, all the way through. Yes. Beautiful. Hey, Nathan, sorry about that.
No, you're fine. That's what we want. That's what this is all about, is the teamwork that you guys are putting on out there. We absolutely love to see it. Rick, real quick, can you just tell us a little bit about what you're up to when it comes to No Breakaways and draft and what this team situation is all about real quick, just to give everybody an introduction to your team maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. Draft is. I was lucky enough to kind of hook up with the guys at Draft for the B division. I raced the first couple of seasons, but now they got me DS, and so really it's just a great group of people. Really enjoy racing together, and as you can imagine, we all like racecraft with a name like Draft, and so it's just a fantastic group of guys. We have fun, lots of jokes. Really, as you guys saw today, just a fantastic group of racers. So, really cool group.
Really, really cool to see. Could you tell us a little bit about the tactics? From my perspective there, it really looked like you guys were trying to, play... The way that it was being played there, it was follow and grab as many points while following as you could and set up for the final. That's what it looked like to me. Not this early on, grab everything that you could, maybe get a little greedy and then fade. It sounded like you were tempering things to get as much as you could throughout the entirety of the race. Yeah,
that was the goal. And I mean, it's really cool with the group of guys that we have. We have some guys who are very, very strong sprinters who are still building their fitness, Jared and Brenton. And so we had them trying to push for some of the fastest through segments and in some of the early stuff. But then the idea is, and it worked out really weird, is that that they would take it easy the second half of the race and go for the fastest through on 23rd Street, which it worked out where, there were other teams doing the same thing where there were a bunch of people a lap behind going for some of the fastest throughs with other groups.
What do you think about that? What is your opinion on? Because I thought it'd be okay because it's kind of in the spirit of fastest segment, but I'm wondering if the teams are kind of like, I don't know about this.
It's right on the line, isn't it?
On one hand, I really like it. On one hand, I think it's really cool. It's the racecraft, it's gamecraft, it's game theory, right? On the other hand, though, I think it made the race confusing. For people, we saw guys jumping in with that front group, and as a runner, like I used to be a runner in the track. If you were getting lapped, you would get tossed off the track if you tried to stay with the top group when they came around you. So that part I thought was a little goofy, but it was part of the game. That was optimal game theory, but that's what you do. You try to get as many points as you can. So, and then we had Derek, Chris, and James were the goals there was to try to stay with the top group. Unfortunately, James, our Watt monster, burnt out his trainer midway through. But yeah, Derek and Chris, we were really targeting that last half of the race with them because they are just absolute beasts. I mean, they're tough guys to beat if you've ever raced them. So and then we had Serge there working his tactics through the pack. So we kind of tried to, I think, play both halves of the race, but really try not to get too greedy at the front with James, Chris, and Derek.
Yeah, amazing
Hey,
results there. Real quickly, gonna jump in. I just wanted to ask Chris. I wanted to ask Chris a couple of quick. Chris, can you hear me or can he not hear? Just gonna
I can
double
hear
check. Oh, Chris. So, Chris, that was the front runner there. Amazing job. Quite the setup you got going on there as well. We were noticing the snowboards throughout as well as the whole pain cave going on here. Amazing result there. I think you grabbed the most points for the entirety of the team throughout from what I could see.
I won't say that was all the plan. I'm just kind of in survival mode. I think with the new draft and pack dynamics, I'm more of a lightweight rider. So honestly, between getting the promotion up to Div 1 and being a lightweight rider, it's honestly this has been a really, really challenging season. So it might look like I'm challenging for stuff, but I'm really just in survival mode a lot of the time. And it's just whatever happens, happens. But I have a really flat power curve, so a race like this is kind of in my wheelhouse. So it's honestly a little more fun than the team time trials for me.
Yeah, nice. So this is it seems like we were talking about the certain kind of athletes that just kind of like to suffer, and having that flatter power curve that usually tells that story a little bit, right? That like, well, it's just going to be set it and go. So it was quite. I mean, you really seem to have been following the wheels really well. What I noticed there with the drafting, have you been working on that, or is it something that you feel like you've had to get that craft down a little bit better? Have you been doing TTTs with the team time trial on Thursdays? Like, do you feel like, and also maybe throw out what do you think about the new pack dynamics too?
Yeah, I think the pack dynamics have honestly made it a little tougher for the lighter weight riders, both male and female. It really definitely changed the dynamics. I think Watts or King there's a little more emphasis on Watts outright power now. So you have to extract a little bit more from the draft. What made it a little more difficult in this race, and usually what I have to rely on, since I can't beat most people in a sprint, is I need to pull power-ups, and this race didn't have any power-ups. So that means I had to draft even more.
Ouch, ouch, ouch. Yeah, expecting something different there.
It was challenging. I don't know how many points I got on the KOMs, but it looks like that was probably our best bet to get some good points in this race.
Yeah, you guys killed it 100%. All right, real quick, I'm going to go to James quick just as a hello because it's been a while, and then I'll jump on over back to hear a little bit more about No Breakaways. James, one of the longest standing members, I think, and founders of Team Draft. We've been interacting for a long time. It's great to see you. What happened out there? Give us a real quick synopsis of how your trainer blew up, essentially.
Yeah, just riding up 23rd Street, put it out to, I guess, too much power. And then screen, got the double dashes, look down, no lights on the trainer, and a little bit of smoke out the side. So, I don't know. We'll see.
Not the plan. Not the plan. Well, I'm glad to see you're still pedaling. I'm glad to see you're at least still pedaling. And it looks like we've got to get you set up again before next week. Eh? Sorry to hear that, James. But, I mean, you've always done an amazing – I just wanted to give you a shout-out because you've always done an amazing job with Team Draft. One of the longest-standing teams, obviously. And, I mean, there's been so many different iterations of Team Draft. And really cool to see you guys still hammering away at the top levels. So –
Thanks, Nathan. Appreciate that. Appreciate you continuing to do this for as long as I've been doing this too, which is several years now. So
yeah, no worries.
To you too as well. Thank you for everything you do.
Yeah, no worries. Rick Wagner, I want to just shoot to you one last time. Rick, can you tell us a little bit about No Breakaways real quick? Where can people find it? What's it all about?
Yeah, so I kind of got the idea from watching Zwift Community Live, and I kind of wanted to know how the guys at the time it was on Team Draft were racing, how they were so good, and so I just kind of got the idea like I would start a channel and I would get pros on like yourself, Nathan, or like James, and people who are just amazing at the racecraft, and get some Zwift racing tips and tricks, really. So yeah, it's a YouTube channel. It's got some traction. Thank you to you, Nathan. I know you've mentioned it on broadcast, and thanks to Eric, a Zwift insider. It's been a fun thing, and just trying to help out the Zwift community. I think like everybody else, it's such an awesome community. It's so fun. Everybody's so supportive. When I reached out to you, you were like, "Yeah, we should do something together," which every pro I've asked to come on the channel has said yes, which you just don't get that in many communities. So it's super fun.
Yeah, of course, of course. Well, thanks a lot, you guys. We really appreciate the inside look. Keep it up, you guys. We'll see you again soon. Go check out No Breakaways, and maybe we'll have to do something real soon here over there with things with CRL. So thanks a lot, you guys, and we'll see you soon.
Yeah, thanks, Nathan.
Well, that was the guys from Draft. They're absolutely awesome. Dave, sorry about that, Dave. So the way that the audio works, it only goes one way. Only Nathan can talk to them with the way that it was set up there. We'll get it set up so that we can have, because Dave's actually the best interviewer in the world, in my opinion. He does the better job on the questions. So, but we appreciate. No,
that was great.
Those guys, they're great. I mean, they're absolutely awesome. Those guys.
Yeah, I've learned a lot from Rick for sure. And as I said, James is such a great ambassador for this community and in real life. Also awesome. Boy, Nathan, this course, I know we don't want to go back every week, but when we do, let's remember that this one is special. The cobbled climbs of Richmond do not disappoint. And boy, I would imagine that we've got some riders that are in a bad place right now. Well, or a good place.
Or a good place.
Finished.
Or a good place.
Right,
depending on how they feel about this kind of
place.
course, right? So
yeah.
Let's go quickly. We got another broadcast coming up quick. I know we've gone a lot of time here. Real quickly, let's check out the results for both the C's as well as the rest of that division we just saw with the 1A, B, C's, and D's. But this is going to be the women's results. And in that C category with awesome new graphics coming in from WTRL. Big thank you to them for putting this together for us. It's going to be Sibylis there from Egowa Blaze, followed up by Copeland, who almost chased her down, but Tina was unable to do it. 5 seconds back there. Jen Grolu, followed up by Panko from Coalition Eclipse there. Myers, Coalition Eclipse in 5th place there. Smirklix there, Egowa Blaze. It's going to be Kellogg, followed up by Chorbalas, I'm going to say there. Hopefully I got that one there. Labaroy there as well, followed up by Elliot from Betty Squad. That's your top 10 situation there for the results in the women. Let's head on over to the men's results. And I'm hoping that these are going to be coming in here as sometimes we need to take a second to get the new results to load. And I think that we've got them this time around, Dave. Maybe
take a look.
Well, maybe I'm getting a warning here that I didn't read.
You can always go to WTRL.racing
there they
if you
are.
want more information.
He pulled
but
them
here
off.
we
He
have
pulled
it.
it off for us. Good job, Martin.
Okay, so this is America's East Division 1 that we're looking at. A different race than the one we just watched, but nice to see Luinstra taking the win for Royal City there. So they had quite a day, didn't they? And it looks like it was a 2-rider sprint with Kevin Bouchard Hall for the Velocio team. So good work out there, guys. So Bouchard Hall will take the silver. It'll be Gagnon from Restart for the bronze. In 4th place is Chiang. 5th place going to Ray. So I should say Cryogen Alpe d'Huez for Chung, then Ray from Ascent Cycling in 5th, Frank from Velocio in 6th, Abbott from Next Level in 7th, Ridley from Dirt Alert in 8th. It's Kronert from Wadi Inc. Technopop in 9th, and then Ericart for the Supersonics from WTRL, rounding out our top 10. That's America's East Division 1.
And then into Division B, it's going to be the launch there from Piganelli. Holds on just barely. Demekis there, he had those crazy kicks over the top of 23rd. He almost was able to bring that to the line. D'Angelo, though, man, the man from Draft, I knew he had a kick on him, and it was 2 seconds back, but that .38 is what put him in 3rd as Demekus takes down 2nd there. Denning, he was an absolute beast out there today from ODZ. The Barracudas there. Denning, long time from ODZ. Good to see him out there hammering away. I think he gained a lot of points for ODZ. Butler there, Gotham Grinders, followed up by Carvalho. He was the man that we've seen out there with the awesome Pain Cave from Draft. Really had an amazing race as well. I think he pulled in a lot of points for Draft. Poirier there as well for the RR Northern Ryans. McSalek there for 7th. It's going to be Parton, followed up by Bowman from the Sunset. And in the C category. Now, these guys did
Let's take a look.
3 laps instead of 5.
that explains the time difference there, 45-12. That's a hard 45 minutes. Is the Dirty Grinders rider Shenton taking the gold, Fravel of the RR Nuclear Rhinos for silver, and Millam of Cryogen Moldushat in third. That's the bronze medal spot. Ellis for fourth for the Nuclear Rhinos. And you can see two riders in the top four is a very good indicator for the day, as it'll be in fifth, Hagen of the ATP Racing Freon team. Herd Mentality is the team. I love that name. And Pearson is the sixth place finisher. Nuclear Rhinos with three in the top, seven with Benusiglio in seventh, Wang in eighth for ATP Racing Freon. Herd Mentality has Conti in ninth. And then you can see Lerevy of Les Watts Brothers, JZQ, small c, in 10th.
And then in the D category, it's going to be Weibo with Team Type 1 Beta Cells taking it down for first place, 25 seconds up. What a break there for Gilbert. There for the Les Watt Brothers, GZQ and the Ds there. So the Z Sun Buns, as they've let us know with one of their team names. Zalisco is in 33 seconds back, in third place. Art Lloyd there for High Speed there in fourth. It's going to be Bissonette there for the Les Watt Brothers in fifth. Ulrichs, ATP Racing Helium in sixth. Rudick, T-Type 1 Beta Cells in seventh. Lopez, MD in eighth. I'm liking that name. Valdez there, herd of plowing Percheons, followed up by the other herd of plowing, fighting Phrygians with L. Johnson. That's the D category results for the America's East Division 1 men's mixed. So that is going to be our results out here. Well, still one more broadcast to go. Go ahead, Dave.
One to go. I was going to say special shout out to Kate Verino today as well. That was a heck of a ride. She's not only jumping in with the men, but she's making it deep into one of the toughest races that we've seen all year. So, Kate, you remain my hero.
Absolutely. Great to see Kate out there. I mean, what's really cool is a lot of these Zwift boys, they've been around for a long time, and they're coming, with the growth of the platform, they're also growing in the fitness with how the platform is growing and the racing league is growing, which is absolutely awesome to see. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of them are in some of the best shape they've ever been in their lives, which is so cool. So, which all of us, I think, are starting to say. I think to all of us, right? Like, we're all starting to get in good shape.
For these two commentators, I think you are maybe as fit or getting as fit as you've been in a while. I know that holds true for me. Level 33 Zwifter.
I've never seen some of these. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy.
It's infectious. And hey, I mean, look, our friend Steve Beckett is out there. He's probably fitter than he's ever been. And I tell you, the folks at Zwift are working incredibly hard. James Lalonde, another example of someone who really, I love seeing this. Now, the people at Zwift really believe in what Zwift is all about, getting fit, having fun, being part of this unbelievably cool community.
100%, 100%. Well, we've got another broadcast in just 45 minutes. America's West is coming at you. Kate's going to be right here. Dave's going to stay right there. We'll see you over there. If you haven't done so already, follow, subscribe, notifications, all that stuff. If you like the content that we're providing for you here. And great job to the racers. WTRL.racing for all the results as always. And we'll see you in about 45. Well, I won't see you. They'll see you. And you'll see them. And I'll be hanging out here making sure it looks good. Nathan Garrett, Dave Trolls, ECL. See you in just about 45.